Alt 105.7, Albany's new alternative. We are here at Mountain Jam 2018, Hunter Mountain, New York, live backstage in a dressing room full of purple curtains with Alt J. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello there.
Hi.
How's your evening going so far?
Well, it's lovely. We're happy to be here on the mountain. It's beautiful, it's green, it's sunny, and we're pumped to play our set tonight.
Is it your first time visiting Hunter Mountain?
Yes, 100%, yeah.
Super excited because it is beautiful scenery, but the crowd out there has been waiting for you guys. I know there's
really?
a lot of first timers out there. I've been talking with a lot of people that have been here today, and they're like super pumped for your set. And we're going to get a little more into that in just a couple minutes. But I want to talk about this awesome new remix that you guys put out the other day. I know you performed on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So your shirt says
Yes,
right
we
here.
did.
Pusher T, you had Twin Shadow, and you guys did a little remix.
We did.
Tell us how this came about.
How did it come about? Well, we approached Push with an idea. That idea being we wanted him to rap on this remix that Twin Shadow had worked on. Really cool remix. Yeah, we were just like, what do you think? And he was just like, I dig it. And he digged all over the track, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That was like the best answer I could have ever heard. So, but how did you get Twin Shadow and Pusha T involved? Like if Twin Shadow was already working on this remix with you, how did you decide to do that? It was just something he was working on and you guys wanted to get involved with?
We wanted to try doing a collaboration with a rapper. You know, we've always been quite open about the fact that hip-hop's a bit of an influence on our music. And so I think that, you know, we kind of have always had a bit of a dream of doing something with a top rapper. And so Pusha T, you know, sprung to mind, essentially. And luckily he was up for it.
That's awesome. You guys have a pretty eclectic taste in music. You're kind of all over the board, from like industrial to metal to like pop rock. How do you guys find the tunes that you are listening to at the time to kind of push it towards the music that you're making?
I think essentially it's a kind of attitude of like, you know, don't write anything off as a potential influence. You know, I think that if you've been listening to a lot of like, you know, Philip Glass or, you know, sort of like late 20th century classical music, minimal stuff, that could be an influence on your music as much as, you know, listening to more conventional, influential music like Radiohead or something. You know, we don't. There's no boundaries to what can influence an Alt J song, I suppose.
But like, how do you come across this music that you're listening to? That's so like the masses aren't generally into jazz and industrial, but it's something that you guys seem to pull from a lot. You know, how do you find yourself coming across this kind of music?
Well, I'm a massive fan of really listening to other people's you know, recommendations. And actually, I'm not like going on the internet and spending hours looking for new music. Tom, our drummer, he's that kind of guy. But yeah, I just listen to like good advice from good friends. And that's what puts me on the right track to listening to music that maybe doesn't sound like the music that we write.
Wow. So you guys pull a lot from kind of pop culture like film and books for your lyrics, right? So you were on the Colbert Show and Natalie Portman was the guest on the show. So I didn't watch the full episode because I don't have cable, but I watched the clip, right? Well, I watched the performance of your song. Did you guys have a conversation about how Matilda is based on one of her early characters?
We absolutely did, yes. She came and met us down in the dressing room. She was extremely gracious. It was a bit like meeting one of the royal family, actually. I have to say, it was pretty cool. Yeah, and we were like, oh, we don't know if you know, but we basically wrote a song about, and she was like, no, I know, I'm a big fan of yours and stuff. So that was pretty mind-blowing, because, you know, you don't really, these kind of like, she's an A-lister, right? Like properly Hollywood royalty, so to speak, and you don't really know what kind of world those people exist in, whether they even like, you know, have a phone or listen to music at all. Like they might just, you know, you can't imagine them really just like doing normal stuff like just, you know, listening to music while doing the washing up. So yeah, it was cool.
So what did she say about it? Was it like weird for her to have that? Like,
do you want to?
Well, I mean, it was only brief, but it really, I can't actually remember the details of the interaction because it's almost like a blur because you've just come off stage. You're just about to go on stage. I think we were. And maybe we just come off stage. See, we can't even remember where we were, what we were doing, whether we'd done it or not. Yeah, Gus was drinking, heavily drinking. Yeah, so I think we basically said, we've got to a song that we've written about your character Matilda," and she was like, "I know," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And she was like, "Yeah, I like you guys," and I was just, yeah, that's really cool.
That's awesome. So you guys have gotten like pretty big, pretty quick. You have 3 albums out, right? Relaxer came out last year, almost a year to the day, kind of. It was just
a year and a bit, yeah, close.
Some change, and you kind of came out swinging out of the gate. You guys are selling out stadiums. You're playing huge festivals. Was that a weird change of pace for you in your life to kind of go from playing in your dorm room to playing massive shows?
Well, I think yes, but it was very incremental. We started in like 2008
right.
as a band, and through that time we were gigging. We just weren't touring, so we were playing very small rooms to just friends, really, and they were our supporters. We didn't really have fans; we just had friends, and then when we released the album, it was kind of I think it was a bit of a refreshing. Injection into the music scene post post the indie scene, I think, from the late noughties, and we introduced a new way of playing guitar music, and I think a lot of people just got on board with it quite quickly, and so the demand was quite high, and luckily a lot of the American market took to it, and that was amazing for us because I had never been to America before 2012.
Wow.
So, and now I'm in America, we're in America more than
you are home.
Well, we are at home at the moment, so yeah.
Oh, well, I haven't been across the pond yet, but it's on my bucket list, so I'm going at some point in this lifetime.
Cool.
So you guys, we were talking a little bit about your collaboration with Pusha T and Twin Shadow. You've had a few collaborators on a couple of your songs. Miley Cyrus became a fan. You guys worked with her a little bit. Ellie from Wolf Alice, you guys worked with her. I feel like you guys need to get a full-on tour together, like because it's so many different genres, and it all just kind of meshes together well. And you don't see a tour like that ever. It's always one specific genre. And the way you guys are working with other artists, I feel like that would be awesome. Is this something that you guys have looked into or thought about at all?
No, it's not. I mean, I guess, curating a festival lineup would be a very cool thing to do. I think we enjoyed that quite a lot, getting to pick. Because, that's the kind of situation where you really could pick all kinds of different artists from all across, genres, from classical to metal, and background the other way. So that would be a lot of fun. So if any promoters want to ask us to do that, that'd be great.
Right. Why do you think it is that festivals are okay to do that, but there's not an actual tour that's kind of gone and done that?
I don't really know. Do you have any idea?
It's probably harder to put on a tour where you have to. It's a lot more expensive when you're going on tour and doing that. I think if it's one day, then it's just one cost. Whereas,
but I feel like the cost is pretty bad for a festival. For your artists, especially if they're big names.
I think you can sell a festival more as a kind of package. Its location. You can throw other stuff in there, like whether it's yoga or pottery.
Right.
You can kind of like you can give it a whole kind of, you can sell it as a weekend of kind of like, if you're this kind of person, go to this place and you'll have a really great time. Whereas I guess a tour is like, I mean, people have done tours, but obviously we're seeing now that this is the last year of the Warped Tour. Lollapalooza is not a tour anymore. Maybe the idea of kind of like big tours like that is not so much of a thing anymore for whatever reason. I don't know.
So you guys have been playing a lot of festivals recently. You guys just did Bonnaroo. You guys are doing Firefly tomorrow. Obviously, you have played some major festivals across the pond, which is kind of where I feel like the music festival kind of started, and they've had that down pat. What is the biggest difference you see between American festivals and festivals back home?
I think that festivals, well, Coachella, for example, I mean, is so different to UK festivals because it's kind of like, all about sort of like how you look and like the parties and the brands and the celebrities. I mean, like, people like go to a festival like Glastonbury, like the look of going to Glastonbury is basically like Wellington boots, shorts and a waterproof jacket and usually some kind of hat. And Coachella, if you wore that to Coachella, I mean, people just wouldn't know what to do. It would be insane, because it's so much more about sort of style and stuff. That's not true for all US festivals. I mean, Bonnaroo, I think, is quite close to what we would deem a proper festival in the UK. It's like in a big sort of field in the middle of the country. It feels more like a bit more of a hippie kind of vibe. It's very cool. We haven't really checked out the vibe of Mountain Jam yet. We just got here, but I mean, yeah, we'll see. But I suppose, broadly speaking, everyone's there to just have a good time and watch music and, hang out with their mates. So I suppose really that fundamental similarity is there.
So when you guys are, you know, playing festivals, do you get a chance to check out the other artists that are playing too? Is that something that interests you? I mean, I know you guys are on the go, you're on the road, you have a show the next day, but is that something you guys try to do?
Yeah, I think sometimes when we're at festivals, we always look at the list and see who's on, and like today we've got the War on Drugs, and we're definitely going to check them out, and yeah. It's cool.
Awesome.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, we are music lovers, so
right.
And being around, I don't think you'll ever get used to getting used to the bands that you're kind of sort of like neighbours with when on a festival site.
So this is going to be my first All J show, so I'm pretty excited about it. And I've heard that you guys kind of make your shows a big experience. Like you want it to have the sound like you're in the recording studio and that everybody's feeling it kind of takes you to another place. Do you feel like that you prep differently for a festival show than you do for like your full tour?
I don't think so. No. No.
Great answer. So what is your favorite part about playing festivals like Mountain Jam and coming to places that you may have never been?
Well, we driving up here, the landscape's beautiful, and it's such lovely weather today. It's just nice to be, and you know, I don't think I've been this part of the country before, and you know, like I said earlier, I've been here so many times. You think you've got the lay of the land, but you really don't. It's really a massive country, and coming upstate is really lovely. You
don't realize when you think of New York, you think of New York City, and you don't realize how green and lush and how beautiful the rest of the state really is. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's been a little while since you guys have put out Relaxer, and when you guys did that, you kind of really went for it experimentally. Was that something you had thought about preemptively, or just kind of like happened while you were recording? Do you feel like pressure to do more poppy songs that are like more upbeat and radio friendly, if you will?
There's a certain amount of pressure, I think. Yeah, you know that like your labels are going to want you to deliver some songs that, you know, will work well at radio. Of course, that's normal. I think we have very good labels in the sense that they are like, you know, I think the unspoken agreement is, you know, give us some stuff that will work well at radio, and then go for it on the rest of the album and to do what you want. And I think that works well for us. You know, we were content to, and that's not to say that the radio songs are songs that we don't like. We love them. I mean, like, you know, In Cold Blood, it's a song that we love it. We love playing it live, love hearing it. And but we knew when we finished recording it, we were like, that's going to be good for alternative radio. So we're happy about that. You know.
Do you go into that making the album like, I'm going to make this one specifically for the masses, and then I'm going to make this one for me? Like, are you trying to, like, in a world of instant gratification where everybody's like, I just want the single, I want it right now, and the streaming services, do you feel like you super service them, or you're into making an album for you guys?
I think it's probably, to be honest, it's probably a bit of both. I think we're not calculated as a band. We don't look at the kind of the current state of or climate of where music is at the moment, and then try and work to create an album so that it sells. But I think you do, like I said, you do have to take that into consideration. You do have to work with the label, and but we do focus on the songs, and the songs are the things that interest us the most. Songwriting and getting ideas across, and working together as a band. We still have a really strong chemistry, and I think that's where we start from. And then we gradually move, and inevitably I think it will sound a bit like how the world sounds at the moment. So, you know.
Awesome. So one more question before I let you guys get ready for your show tonight, because I know you need to do a little preparation. Have you guys started working on any new projects for a new album yet, or? We're
not active. You know, we're not actively working on our next album. We tend to have ideas on tour and then go home from finishing an album tour and have a rest and then get back together and see what we've got. You know, so that'll be how we play things next time as well. You know, we're looking forward to a summer full of festivals, and then, you know, a bit of a break, and then we'll see where we are. So we're.
Right.
You know.
I'm sure you guys have been playing some amazing shows. Well-deserved break you will have. We're excited for tonight. Alt J going to be taking the Mountain Stage at 10:15. Super excited for the show. Thank you guys so much for giving us a couple minutes of your day today.
Thanks for having us.